Hi all, it's the end of week 2 of global sustainability. This week we focused on environmental issues, delving into the ways in which humans impact the environment. We looked at the US biosphere experiment in the 1980s that was a complete failure, but in failing held important messages about the complexity of the Earth's natural biosphere. We considered the capacity of our Earth to carry or sustain the global human population given levels of consumption, and had a stark reminder of this through the ecological footprint calculator. Most of you recognized that the ecological footprint calculator was thought-provoking, but for many of us it was also quite confronting. It was also recognized as being a little too simplified, and your comments on the nuances it could improve on ranged from consumption and purchasing habits, for example, of clothing and meat products, to the specifics of travel and other lifestyle choices. It was heartening to see that many of you noted areas where you felt you might take more action, as well as your recognition that there were actions to be taken by your wide range of professions as well. There was also some great discussion on the tool being a stepping stone to awareness raising, behavioural change, goal setting, and even policy influencing. You've also all highlighted a great range of initiatives such as Plastic Free July, Buy Nothing community gifting Facebook groups, and repair cafes. We then looked at the concept of tipping points and precautionary measures that should be invoked through environmental laws wherever there are developments that might threaten human or environmental health. The concept of ecosystems and services within these, provisioning, regulating, cultural, and supporting, was discussed. And importantly, we unpicked notions of value, considering the different ways in which people value the environment. This led us neatly into sustainability paradigms, anthropocentrism as dominant in Western philosophy, religion, and science, and non-anthropocentric perspectives, including ecocentrism and biocentrism. We questioned assumptions that all human interactions with nature are negative, and again, the multiple complex ways that Indigenous peoples have lived on and managed landscapes throughout history was highlighted. Across the group, we have an interesting spread of beliefs about preferred paradigms that is unsurprising given the diversity of our lived experiences. The second discussion on strengths and limitations of these paradigms provided some really interesting reflections. There were similarities with the week 1 discussion relating to the importance of recognizing the full ecosystem, that ever-important connectivity that we talked about. You drew out the tensions between individual, and some of you framed it as selfishness, narcissism, and greed, and also collective needs, and humans versus the planet. You've made the important points that it doesn't need to be humans versus or against the planet, rather considering the fragility of the entire ecosystem and the critical role played by nature in the environment as underpinning to human survival. This led to discussions on humans as custodians and whether or not this implied a superiority of humans above planet. Overall, there was a view that for action to occur, we needed practical steps and to sustain connectivity of issues to humans. It's been a really great week with some fascinating discussions. Don't forget that next Wednesday, the 29th, we have our live discussion and Q&A at 12 noon Brisbane time. We will be joined by Professor Jackie Croak, Professor in Climate, Environment and Sustainability and QUT Resilience Centre Director, and Professor Rowena Maguire, Professor in the School of Law and Director of the QUT Centre for Justice. They will give short presentations on the work of their research centres in relation to sustainability, and you'll have the chance to ask them questions too. Feel free to post anything you'd like to discuss in the live Q&A session section in week 3 in modules, or you can add it to the live chat on Wednesday. Keep the great discussions going, and I'll see you next week as we delve more deeply into the topic of social sustainability.